How's it going, everyone? Got a lot of physical deals to go over in this video, and a lot of really great stuff. Some super recent releases being heavily discounted, so that's always nice to see. So let's talk about it. A lot of Sega titles being on sale, and Sega seems to be one of those publishers that I'm not ready to put it in the Ubisoft category yet, but a lot of their games come out and have been going on sale fairly quickly. And Sega, you know, some of their decision-making as far as, you know, DLC practices, deluxe editions, I'm not crazy about, but they've been on a pretty big hot streak as far as putting out quality titles, so seeing their games discounted is always a good thing. Right off the top, do want to mention Unicorn Overlord. Guys, this game came out a month ago, I think literally a month from today ago, and it's 33% off for $40. Unicorn Overlord is a game that I played to completion, and I really enjoyed it. Now, tactics titles aren't really my cup of tea. There's quite a bit of depth to Unicorn Overlord from its gameplay and how you want to structure the different parties, you know, various different tactics-based decision-making and whatnot. There's a lot of depth to the gameplay. Now, there is also a plethora of difficulty options, 3 difficulty options, and, you know, if you want a streamlined experience, you can certainly have that, and it still employs everything you know and love out of a Vanillaware game. Awesome visual style, obviously that's there. Great soundtrack, yup. You've got a good narrative in there as well. And given Vanillaware's last release in 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, I thought that game was just a phenomenal game from a narrative standpoint, and I don't think Unicorn Overlord is as good as that game, but it's still pretty damn good in its own right. Overall, a really solid game. I just thought timing was really bad and unfortunate for this game. Came out a week after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Look, you know, you can make the argument Unicorn Overlord is one of those JRPGs that's going to attract a niche audience anyway, and the people that are going to buy it regardless, but I just think, you know, coming out a week after the biggest JRPG release of the year by far is just not going to do you a lot of good. But the game still ended up selling 500,000 copies, which for a game of this level and this stature, not a bad number whatsoever, so good for them. Hopefully, that'll keep Vanillaware trucking along for their next release, because it just seems like they have to overcome a lot of financial hurdles in getting all these games out, or getting their games out in general, where they're talking about, you know, running out of money by the end of development on some of these games. Like, this is a wild thing. As far as, you know, they're a super small studio, and Atlas did handle the publishing of this game, but ultimately, you only have so much money to work with. But looks like Unicorn Overlord was a success. Game itself is great, so definitely if you're a JRPG fan, given this just came out, already seeing a nice discount, 100% pick that up. Next up, currently, not gonna lie guys, this is my game of the year, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, 43% off for $40, yes. After playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, P3R, Granblue Fantasy Relink, Unicorn Overlord as I mentioned, Dragon's Dogma 2, Rise of the Ronin, playing all of these games, I think Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is my game of the year so far. Now, I'll have a probably deeper look at it by the end of the year. There's still a lot of big games to come out for the rest of the year, of course, but Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, if you've been playing the RGG titles, if you played Yakuza Like a Dragon, man, the culmination of so many story arcs in Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is just tremendous. You still have the Ichiban character story, but then you throw in this Kiryu kind of epilogue chapter, and really wrapping up the Kiryu story. Narratively, the game was awesome. Mechanically, it's such a well-based it's such a well-made turn-based JRPG with so much depth to the gameplay, and the content is just absurd. Honestly, borderline a little bit too much content, but Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth has a varied level of content where there's so much to do, yes, but you don't have to do everything. Like Dondoko Island, that wasn't really my cup of tea, and I'm not going to get invested into it, but you guys, you might end up spending hours upon hours in it. That's great. It's an optional thing in the game. If you want to take advantage of it, take advantage of it. All the side stories and whatnot, if you want to do all of them, especially as far as the Kiryu stuff, and if you've played the other Yakuza titles, there's so many callbacks, there's so many cool moments that you just see throughout the game, and, you know, it's one of those games that it is hard to recommend if you haven't played the other games, and it's such a daunting task. Bro, yeah, go play Yakuza 0, go play Yakuza 1 through 6, go play Yakuza Like a Dragon. You gotta play all those games before you play Infinite Wealth. Not necessarily all those games, but you want to be somewhat familiar with Kiryu's character, and certainly you want to play Yakuza Yakuza Like a Dragon, if nothing else. But the game is tremendous. $40 is a great buy if you're familiar with the Yakuza series. I imagine a lot of you already picked it up, but for whatever reason, if you didn't, but like I said, probably my game of the year thus far, but that opinion is constantly going to change. It's certainly going to be in the mix by the end of the year. Next up, Granblue Fantasy Relink Deluxe Edition, 35% off for $64.70. This includes an art book, a soundtrack CD, a set of postcards, and in-game DLC, including starter item pack, character color packs 1 through 3, and the weapon, False Sword of the Apocalypse. Thought this game was great. Visual style is awesome. Soundtrack's pretty good. Narratively, you know, nothing to write home about, but that's not really where the game was trying to shine. Has quite a bit of content. The post-game is really where things get a lot better with Granblue Fantasy Relink, and there's a lot of replayability there as well. If you're a fan of action JRPGs, fast-paced action combat, Granblue Fantasy Relink is probably going to be a game you really enjoy. Just don't expect like a super enthralling narrative arc. Obviously, there's a little bit of depth with all the Fate episodes and whatnot that adds a little bit, but yeah, I think from a gameplay standpoint, the game is great. $64.70 for the Deluxe Edition. That typically goes for $100. I thought was a pretty good pickup. Next up, Persona 3 Reload, 43% off for $40. This is a good deal. Mind you, it might be best to wait until they release, like, you know it's coming, like the Reload Complete Edition after they release the FES content. So whack how Sega decided to handle that, where they sold a $100 Ultimate Edition, and then if you bought that Ultimate Edition, you still gotta spend money for the upcoming DLC content, which is just so crazy to me. But I think Sega knows, like, the Persona fandom, and trust me, I know quite a bit of people that are super into Persona. They'll throw money at everything. Like, the Persona fan base is so hardcore into Persona that, yeah, you're gonna get their money, and you're gonna get their money pretty easily. You know, they just love these games, and I understand why. They're fantastic, fantastic games, but I gotta call out some whack stuff when I see it, and I think Sega's handling of P3R is kind of whack. All things considered, though, the game is tremendous. Persona 3, to many, is considered the best game in the entire franchise. I mean, they're all tremendous. P3, P4, and P5 are the ones that people really talk about, but yeah, P3R, great title, $40, good buy, even if it doesn't have that DLC content. Like, it is what it is. $40 for a game that's gonna get you, you know, 80 plus hours of content is pretty damn good. Persona 5 Tactica is 50% off for $30, tactics-based JRPG. Not a game that's absolutely necessary to play, but is it a good time? Yeah. Do you get more of the characters that a lot of you guys already know and love? Yeah, so I wouldn't say drop $60 on it, but $30 I think is a pretty decent pickup. And then you have Sonic Superstars, 52% off for $29. This game came out back at the end of October, and my main point of contention with the game was the price point. Now that it's down to sub $30, like, easy recommendation there. It's a throwback Sonic game while also adding a little bit of a new layer to the classic Sonic style of play. Like to see that Sonic seems to be a franchise that Sega is gonna do yearly releases for of different styles. Like 2022, we got Frontier. 2023, we got Sonic Superstars. This year, we got Sonic Generations, the Sonic Generations X Shadow, I think it's called. And then maybe 2025, I don't know, guys, Sonic Frontiers 2, just like throwing that out there. Maybe that'll be what we get next year. But nice to see Sonic as an IP get some momentum. It's never gonna be this gigantic IP, but you know, with all the success of Frontiers, with the success of the movies, there is some steam and some momentum for Sonic. So happy to see that. And $29 for Superstars, I think, is a pretty good deal. And then lastly, do want to give a shout to Star Wars Jedi Survivor. That is $30 on Amazon. It's also $30 at Best Buy. Amazon, you do have to spend over $35 to get free shipping. So, like, if you just want to add this on to, I don't know, whatever you guys buy on Amazon regularly, so you can get free shipping. And actually, if you have Amazon Prime, it looks like free shipping with that as well. Yeah, I believe that's the case. I don't know why I'm literally on Amazon right now and I'm not logged into my account. Typically I am, so it would illustrate me on the free shipping stuff a little bit easier, but nonetheless, Jedi Survivor is great. It was in my mix for Game of the Year of 2023. I've talked about this game ad nauseum. Performance issues aside, which is like a very big thing to put aside for Star Wars Jedi Survivor because the performance issues are so glaring. But yeah, Jedi Survivor is a great game, and definitely play Jedi Fallen Order. It's sub $5 right now on the PlayStation Store. It's a great game, and Jedi Survivor is a great game as well. I saw recently there were some complaints, I think it was like on Twitter, or it was on some social media that I saw, where people were complaining about the map in Jedi Survivor as well. It was way worse in Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Survivor actually has like you have to go to the accessibility options, I think it is, and it has like a little checkbox for map navigation that helps out a little bit. Survivor's map still has some issues, but it is nowhere as near nowhere near as bad as Jedi Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order was an abomination when it came to the map design, and, you know, at least Jedi Survivor is better. Jedi Survivor is also a bigger game, more content, and the story I thought was really good. I saw some people were down on the story. Jedi Survivor's, like, first half is fine. The second half with the twists and turns I think gets really, really good. And I really like Cal as a character. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but if they wanted to integrate Cal into other parts of the Star Wars IP, I would probably check it out. If they told me like Cal was just gonna show up in some movie or some TV series, I would be like, alright bro, I gotta go watch this. But yeah, I like him as a character, and hopefully whatever they do as a third game, they do pretty well on that. A lot of potential here. So that'll do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals. Links to all of these in the description box below. As always, thank you for watching. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.